What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, where today we're covering the Star Wars games that were released on the portable systems within Sony's collection. So we have the PS Vita and the PSP and all the games that were released, or all the Star Wars games that were released on both systems. And the reason I'm doing them both together is because there was really not many games. I mean, there was only 2 games released on the PS Vita, so I figured I would just do a portable collection in this video. As always, we're going to have the Metacritic scores and the price charting prices down in this corner over here. And if these games appear on PlayStation Plus, which I don't think any of them do, but if they do, I will put it up in this corner up here. So if you're enjoying the series, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching what is bound to be another insightful episode of every Star Wars game released on both PSP and PS Vita. Also, if you hear a little bit of barking or yapping, that is because of this little girl. This is my girlfriend's birthday present that I couldn't hide for 2 weeks because obviously it's alive, and I don't think she would have appreciated being put in the cupboard every day while my girlfriend was home. So I gave it to her 2 weeks early, and she is the newest member of our family, but she's still a pup. So if there's any yapping or any barking in the videos, that is because of Luna here. Do you want to say hi? Say hello. Hello. Anyways, so if there is a little bit of barking, it's just because of her. But yeah, we're excited to have her on board, and hopefully we can do some videos with her in the future. Anyways, let's hop straight into the video and check out the games that were released on the portable systems within the Star Wars franchise. Starting us off is a multi-platform release, and that is Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, this was released on the PSP alongside the PS2 release in 2005. It didn't do too well on Metacritic, scoring a 69, and it's starting to get a little bit pricey, and that's a trend you're going to see with a lot of the PSP games. They are all starting to get a bit up there in value. I don't know why this is, I don't know what this phenomenon is, but I hope that the prices do settle down a little so that everyone can experience the multiple ways of playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. In 2006, we saw LEGO Star Wars arrive on portable systems in the form of LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. And what a great way to kick off LEGO Star Wars on portable systems. I mean, this game was fantastic, no matter where you played it, no matter how you played it. The Metacritic score revealed the same as on the home consoles. It scored incredibly high at an 83. And its value is somewhat similar to what we're seeing with all the PSP games, around the $10 to $15 mark. I think this is a great way to play yet another great LEGO Star Wars game. So if you haven't just yet and you want a portable version, this might be the way to play it. Our first portable only game comes in the form of Star Wars Lethal Alliance, which sees you take command of a Twi'lek in, I'm assuming, bounty hunter sort type missions. I have no idea what this game is about. I do own this game. I really want to hop into it. But if you can tell me more about this game in the comments, that would be amazing. This game is getting quite pricey though. It is sitting at $21 on price charting, which is quite insane considering that it is almost 2 decades old. Yet, I kinda understand. This game was only released on 2 platforms, both of which have never seen a re-release. So, let me know in the comments if this game is worth my time. Building on from the success of its bigger brothers, Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron was released in 2007 and was received quite well at a 73 on Metacritic, which is actually really good for portable system games. Now, Renegade Squadron sees you join Han Solo in adventures within that era, and I think this could be a really fun game. It's just kind of unfortunate that we don't have a more modern way of playing this title. In 2008, alongside the release of the PS2 and PS3 version, we saw a PSP version of The Force Unleashed. Now, the debate rages on about which is the best version of this game. Is it the PS2, the PSP, or the PS3 version of The Force Unleashed? Let me know in the comments which one you think is the superior Force Unleashed, on which system. Going on from the success of Renegade Squadron, we saw Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron, which wasn't received quite as well, but I still think it's worth your time if you are trying to play through all of these stories. Also in 2009, we saw the release of Star Wars The Clone Wars Republic Heroes, which was also released on PS3, and you should check out my PS3 video if you haven't yet, as we discussed this game's console release in a bit more length. Now, this version of the game I have a lot more experience with, and I've completed it a good 3 or 4 times in my younger years. However, I definitely struggled retrying to play this more recently as the controls are just a little bit jank. However, I still really enjoy the stories and playing as clones within this title. Probably my favorite portable game in the Star Wars franchise is Lego Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars. I am such a big Clone Wars fan, and I love the first 2 seasons of Star Wars The Clone Wars, which is predominantly what this game covers. So I love playing through this game whenever I get the chance. I definitely need to experience the home console versions, because this is the version that I've played through the most. So I'll be hopping into that as soon as I can. The first title to be released on the PS Vita within the Star Wars franchise is Angry Birds Star Wars, and I don't have very much to say about this because I only played the iPhone version of the game. I've never played console version, I've never played the PS Vita version, and I can't imagine that they're particularly different or particularly great. But let me know if you think these are good games in the comments below. The final game released on a PlayStation portable system was LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, I've already spoken about my confusion about the existence of this game, however, it was probably profitable for LEGO and Star Wars at the time, so that's why TT Games released it. Now, the PS Vita version isn't all too different from the home console version, so I've heard. It just favors shorter, bite-sized, more chopped up levels rather than the fuller levels that you would experience on the console versions, which is probably a good idea considering it is a portable version of the game. If you have played this, let me know what you think the differences are, or what you have experienced the differences are compared to the home console version. Thank you guys so much for watching yet another video within this series of covering all Star Wars games that were released on all PlayStation systems. Today we covered the 2 portable systems, and hopefully in the future or next week we will cover the PS4 games. As you can see, I do have a little bit of a collection for the PSP games. I don't have any of the 2 Vita games, but yeah, the PSP was actually where I basically grew up playing my Star Wars games, and a lot of those games are very important to my childhood, and a lot of them are the reasons I love Star Wars so much right now, well, as an adult. Some of the games didn't hold up quite as well as I remember them. I've gone back to playing Republic Heroes once or twice, and I must have been some really good PSP gamer, because that game is really difficult for me now. And I remember breezing through that story about 3 or 4 times as a younger child. And yeah, it's a little bit more difficult for me now, and I think the controls haven't aged as well, but I have definitely completed that game, and I did actually enjoy it despite all the bad reviews. But anyways, let's call it what it is. These games didn't review as well as they probably could have, and that's just because of the limited power the PSP had. I mean, the console ports of most of these games are much more complete. The Lego Star Wars The Clone Wars, or Lego Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars, I should say, comes to mind, as I didn't realize how much more expansive the console version of this game was until I started reviewing all these games, or not reviewing, looking at all these games. So I definitely needed to play a lot of the games that I enjoyed and loved on PSP on home consoles. But anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying some of these Star Wars games this weekend and are keen for next week's PS4 video. Cheers.